The small band of workers in Mary Baker Eddy's household at Pleasant View shared qualities that enabled these ordinary people to measure up to an extraordinary calling. Clara Shannon selflessly left her healing practice in Canada to undertake metaphysical work in her teacher's home.
In the late 1870s in Montreal, Clara Sainsbury Shannon had been training to sing professionally. She had moved with her family from England to Canada when she was in her teens. 10 years later, suffering from a serious illness, she was introduced to science and health. While reading it, she was healed. Clara was especially drawn to the woman she saw on the frontispiece. The next year, after a second healing, Clara wanted to talk with Mrs. Eddy.
I wrote and told her that her book had healed me, and asked what I could do to know more of Christian Science. Mrs. Eddy wrote back that she had entered me for her next class. Clara Shannon.
In 1888, she attended Mrs. Eddy's primary class in Boston. Clara returned to Montreal, gave up her singing career, and entered the practice of Christian Science healing and later teaching. In 1894, Mrs. Eddy asked her to join the Pleasant View household. Clara would serve there for long periods, often with Laura Sargent for nearly 10 years. Those called were called to be on watch, working on a high spiritual plane of thought. Clara Shannon commented that what Christian Scientists might call working, Mrs. Eddy called watching and praying.
There was a great need for the church and our leader. Both were attacked by error, and as our leader and those with her were in the front rank of the battle, it meant watching and praying without ceasing. Clara Shannon.
The metaphysical workers were organized to help her wage this battle, assigned to what she termed the watch. Set periods of systematic prayer about specified problems. Clara, in order to be punctual in beginning her watch, bought herself a new alarm clock. She would lie on her bed, fully clothed, holding the clock in her hands.
When the alarm bell rang, a little before the time to commence my watch, I used to get up and walk about the room to be thoroughly aroused. Then I would begin my turn at watching.
The problems calling for Mrs. Eddy's attention did not stop at bedtime. Clara Shannon recalled a night well after 9:30 when a packet came to the door. It contained letters from the directors of the Mother Church asking for their leader's guidance. Mrs. Eddy was asleep in bed. Calvin and Clara decided not to disturb her rest. The packet could wait until morning. But in a short time, Mrs. Eddy awoke and rang and asked if something had come from the directors. When she read the letters, she told Clara they raised an issue that called for great wisdom, but she wasn't sure what direction to take.
She said, "I don't know what is best to do, but love will show me the way." She told me to get her block of paper and a pencil and to write. I sat on the carpet beside the hot air register and wrote at her dictation. She said, "God bids me do so and so, but I don't see the reason why."
The dictation, typing, rewriting, and pondering went on for hours. As Mrs. Eddy edited each page, Clara brought it down the hall to Calvin. He typed another draft, and it was brought back to Mrs. Eddy's room.
Several times she corrected that manuscript, saying, "That does not make the meaning clear enough. I must put better words to express what God meant." At about 2 or 2:30 a.m. I said to her, "Mother, why don't you wait to write this till tomorrow?" She said, "And what will become of our cause if I waited? This will be on its way to Boston at 5:30, ready for the directors' meeting at 8 o'clock. Then I replied that we read in the Bible that the darkness and the light are both alike to thee, and there shall be no night there, and we both laughed heartily.
In the morning, Mrs. Eddy's message of guidance was on the 5:30 train to Boston.
Later, after she had been for her walk on the veranda, she said to us as she came into the room, "Love has shown me the reason why. and she explained to us the reason. Then she said, very seriously, "I want you always to remember that Mother had to obey God before she knew the reason why."